What's it like educating people about Bitcoin? First of all, I thoroughly enjoy educating people about Bitcoin. It's super fun, but there is a stressful component, and the stressful component is that I'm always most actively working with people who are newest to Bitcoin, which means the people who are most likely to be down on their investment are the people I'm most likely to be in communication with, at least as a percentage of the outreach, which means if I think about it now, of course, my heart goes out to everybody who bought their very first Bitcoin at 117 or 118,000 a coin. This is their very first little dip of 5%. They've never experienced a Bitcoin price dip before. They don't know that it's part of the process. They don't know that everyone experiences this, and they don't know that this has been happening in every financial asset from the beginning of the world till now. They just don't know that that's normal. So my heart goes out to them, and I try to do videos and I try to explain that this is what happens in investing, and you're never going to time it perfectly on its way up and only experience the upside. Anyway, so there is that part of just my heart going out to the most recent people who have climbed aboard the Bitcoin train because they have the least experience, and my heart just goes out to them. But if I zoom out a little bit, which is what you have to do with Bitcoin, whether you're an investor in Bitcoin or whether you are a Bitcoin person who enjoys educating people like me, you have to zoom out a little bit. And as soon as I zoom out, I think, wait a second. Okay, yes, there are some people that are new to Bitcoin that bought recently at 117 or 118,000 or something. But then I think, yeah, but earlier than everyone who adopted more than 3 weeks ago, those people are up on their investment. It's only people from literally the last 3 weeks that are down on their investment literally this second. They'll be up on their investment in a matter of time. It's just time, but they don't know that because they're new to Bitcoin. So anyway, so I have to think, okay, but previously the most anyone paid was, 108 to 111. And all those people are still up on their investment. Well, the people before them, the wave before them from a few months before that, bought their first Bitcoin between 90,000 and 105,000. Well, they're significantly up on their investment. If you go back before November of last year, which is only 9 months ago, go back less than 9 months, and everybody was accumulating Bitcoin between between 55,000 and 70,000. Well, those people are way up on their investment. Okay, and the people before that, the wave of adoption before that happened in the 40,000s. Well, those people are almost triple their investment. Well, what about the people before that? Well, the people who before that were acquiring in the 20,000s and 30,000s. They're up somewhere between, 4x to 5x their investment. So when you're educating people about Bitcoin, you have to keep in perspective that everybody buys their first Bitcoin on its way up. Nobody acquires Bitcoin when it's going down the first time, because people just don't want to do that. Their psychology, even though the best time to buy anything that is going to be a good long-term investment is when it's going down, the psychology is always that people want to buy things when they go up, because when they don't understand an asset initially, they use price as their validation. So when the price is going up, they feel good and they want to buy it for the first time. But as you get deeper and later into your Bitcoin journey, you start buying more and more of your Bitcoin when the price is going down, because your conviction is so high, and your conviction is not based on the price. Your conviction is based on the technical fundamentals of what makes a good money, and the fact that Bitcoin is that good money, and the fact that Bitcoin will outcompete all and is outcompeting all other monies. It's just happening slowly because humans take a long time to learn new things, and especially, completely new paradigm shifts like cryptocurrency or artificial intelligence or things like that. So anyway, you got to zoom out. So if you are new to Bitcoin, my advice to you is, hey, zoom out. Just realize everybody before you at some point felt like you do exactly right now. Everybody before you bought their first Bitcoin on a price rise like the one up to 123,000. Everybody acquired either right before that happened, let's call it in the 117 to 118,000 on the way up, or after the price had settled back to 117 or 118,000 on its way back down. And then, of course, eventually at some point, there's always a little price correction or a bigger price correction. You don't know. And, the people who really are doing the work, they will buy more Bitcoin in that price dip. The ones that aren't will freak out. They'll freak out about their initial investment. Most of the time, they will not sell their initial investment. They'll just sit on it and think, uh-oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I showed up. Maybe I was late to the party. Maybe I was the last one in before the price crash, et cetera, et cetera. And then the price will recover and they'll be like, oh, I should have bought that dip. Maybe I'll buy this next dip. And then as their conviction grows and their knowledge grows, they buy the next dip and the next dip. And most people's initial Bitcoin, the first Bitcoin people ever buy is when the price is going up as fast as possible. The last Bitcoin people ever buy is when the price is going down as fast as possible. So the very last 1% of my net worth that I put in Bitcoin back in April, I put in when Bitcoin had dropped from 109, it was either 108,000 or 109,000. That was before it spiked to 112. So it was either 108 or 109. And there was a dip in April that dropped Bitcoin into the mid 70,000s. And I still had 1% of my liquid assets that were not in Bitcoin. And when it dropped back into the 70,000s, I was like, you can't dangle 70,000 I think it was like I bought it at like 78,000 or something. If you're going to dangle $78,000 Bitcoin in front of me, I will take that with my last 1% of my entire liquid assets. And so I did. And so, on the very tail end, your conviction is so high that the more aggressive a price dips, the more you can't resist buying it. But on the very front end of your Bitcoin journey, you use price as an affirmation of the credibility of Bitcoin, and therefore, you tend to buy it when the price is going up. And nothing wrong with that. That's normal human psychology. That is what everyone does, and that is what I did. My first Bitcoin was bought in 2017 and 2018 when the price was spiking in the 2017 spike. I bought way up there near the top in 2017, and then I learned, grew my conviction, and it went from there. So, hope all that's helpful. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thanks.